Today is Saturday, and most of, especially our ladies, will know that this is the day where things are on sale. It's something that's called BOGO, buy one and get one free. The first salam, I bought. The second salam is free, you give to me. So we will say it again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So now we can continue to uphold this American tradition of buy one and get one free. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. قدم نبينا على كل الناس وسقانا من عذب سنته صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا. نحمد ربنا جل ثناؤه أن جعل لنا من خير أمته خير أمة أخرجت للناس. الحمد لله. الصلاة والسلام على خير خلق الناس صلى الله عليه. الحمد لله. الصلاة والسلام على سيد الناس صلى الله عليه. ثم الصلاة والسلام قطرا على أجل العالمين قدرا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إخوان وأخواتي في الدين. A show of hands, who has ever been to one of our lectures before? I think it's important from the outset for me to set the tone of my lectures, especially to the elder generation, my aunts and my uncles. And one of the things that I want to attach first is this spiritual disclaimer. I am grateful that all of the sacrifices that my aunts and my uncles have made that allowed me to be in a position where Allah can bestow a little bit of favor on His simple slave, which is myself. You get many speakers here at Adam Center. You get many shuyukh here at the Adam Center. They give lectures. They give a lecture, and first of all, we ask Allah to bless the shuyukh that's come here and accept all of their amal, salih, all of that. They drop the mic and they go to the different destination. I have no interest whatsoever in giving lectures anymore. I got 19 brothers and sisters. That's the number that comes after 18 and before 20, 19. If I wanted to lecture somebody, I can always lecture. I have a big audience to lecture. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. What I am interested in is producing the results for the youth. I'm results driven. I'm obsessed with having results for the youth. Because of that, there are things that I say, and there's things that I put together that some of the elders, they don't understand this. Because of their culture, they'll never be able to accept this. But it is me who deals with, I probably know your children better than you do. Because I deal with their problems on a one-on-one basis. So it's important for me to set the tone for this. Of how we were able to service the youth and why we landed here again 2 times in less than a year, which is very rare. I don't go to places 2 times in less than a year, not because I don't want to, because I just don't have the time. It's very important for you all to understand the children and understand the youth. It's very important for you on this particular lecture, this one right here, Masjid to Boardroom. I sat down and I hand wrote this actually with an ink pen. And then of course this was given to one of our assistants and she put it in a PowerPoint presentation. But I actually physically wrote this with a ink pen. If you go on our Instagram page, we took some pictures of it and you can see I actually physically wrote this. How are you able to do that? This is not a general lecture that we're going to give. You know why? Because when you go to the doctor and the doctor takes your pulse, can he take your pulse from right here? He can't take your pulse from right here. He has to touch you to take your pulse. So when I say that my thumb is on the pulse of the youth, that's because I'm actually dealing with them every day. So when a program is created, it's created based on me being mandated. What does that exactly mean? That means that I've dealt with their issues and I know their secrets and I know also their triumphs and their challenges. So I'm not just a speaker and saying, okay, well give me a subject and I'm going to mention the same thing that I mentioned last time I was here. No, that's scripted. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the things that I do, I go back and forth from psychology, which is my background, and theology. So I will give you what is sahih, and I will give you what is practical too. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not give general advice. He gave general advice, but when you look at Bukhari, when you look at Muslim, a man came, a lady came to him. She asked, he asked. So when he responded, it was general information about it. This is why also when you are speaking and you are giving advice and people coming up to you, that's why when you read Bukhari and when you read Muslim, sometimes a person's name is never ever revealed. Because part of a council is privacy. Al-majlisu bil-amana. When people sit and talk, it's an aman and trust between them. That's why you'll never know who that man or woman was. But why is it revealed? So we can all benefit from it, because it's a lesson to be learned in. So, everyone understand this? There's a lesson to be learned in. It's very important for me to attach this disclaimer to that. What I would say is for the youth, I have very little care about culture. I have very little. My father studied 26 years in Lahore. I can tell you I probably ate more biryani than fried chicken in my life. I don't want, so this is based on that. So, we talked about Masjid for Boardroom, how it came about, the balance. Every name that we come up with, this particular name that we came up with, Masjid for Boardroom, me and Fawad, we were talking and we decided to do Masjid, the Boardroom, and as we begin to navigate down this presentation, you will understand why we called it Masjid to Boardroom. But I'm very meticulous on what I do, even the names of, even the color that I chose. Even the color that I chose for the flyer, or that we chose for the flyer, is there. And of course, you know, we have the stethoscope, and that's a whole other, I'll touch back on that, why even that's on there. So this isn't just people who just put a flyer together for them. Because listen, I want y'all to pay attention to this. When someone gives you a gift, it's specifically for you. It's deliberate. They know your shoe size. They know your shirt size. It's very deliberate. They know if you don't like pink, they're not going to give you a pink shirt. They're very deliberate. So this is how we had to do in our dawah. Before in the Asr of the Hadiyah, the golden era, they were very, very specific in what they say. When Umar ibn Khattab stepped on that minbar, he just wasn't saying anything. He was very deliberate and he stayed on task. It's too much of our youth, they go to these big conferences and they leave still addicted to marijuana. They leave still having a boyfriend and girlfriend. They leave still having these shadows. Why? Because just give them a general talk. It's no more time for any general talks. I'm here to tell you that the Ummah is on a brink. It is on a brink. And I'll talk about that before. So everything is deliberate. Masjid, the Boardroom, with this humble slave here. It's an interactive discussion on balancing spirituality, family, and religion. You have the dates. You have everything, career, faith, and community. This is the overview of it. Separation anxiety, freedom, limits, failure, success, responsibility. These are some of the things that we will touch on. Some things will be more brief than others. I may take time to elaborate on something that I think can benefit us. So let's allow this journey to begin in the middle. When an individual comes from university and they go into a career, something unique happens. Two unique things happen. Two unique things happen. When you're in university, or before university, from kindergarten up until you get your bachelor's degree, it's very structured. When the bell rings, and when you are in grade school, when the bell rings, that signifies you go sit down at your desk and you receive instructions from your homeroom teacher or your first period teacher or your first session teacher or whatever the case is. The same thing with university. At the beginning of the semester, they give you a syllabus. They're going to go down that syllabus, pretty much. You know it's going to take place 6 weeks from now. In corporate America, it's not like that. It's not like that in corporate America. So what happens is that structure that you're used to, the businesses run, let's do whatever works. They have a SOP, which is a standard operation procedure, but they have that simply for regulation purposes. But trust and believe, your director is going to tell you to do whatever works just to get the job done. So that sometimes can create an inner conflict with you. Why? Because you were so used to constant, you were so used to this repetition, so that creates a separation anxiety. The other part of the separation anxiety, which is the first thing that you'll experience 1 week after you graduate into the summer. You're going to miss actually going up to school, no matter how much it drove you crazy to be writing those unnecessary 25-page papers. You're going to miss that. Because now you really have a responsibility now. Because when you're in university, it's kind of like a responsibility, but kind of like, you can say, oh, I'm just a college student. You can no longer say that anymore. So these are the two, when these two things is coupled together, you have to be very, very careful because it can go into something else. It can turn into performance anxiety, which I didn't mention on here, but this is the first thing that you'll do. So this is why you see this man at the board, and he's like, my bills and vacation and finishing charts, and I have to travel for work, and you see him, he's experiencing separation anxiety. I want to spend some time on this. I'm a sneakerhead, as you can see. I love sneakers, even with the shape inside of the graphic. He has Jordans on. So I'm a sneakerhead. So everything represents me. Everything represents me. So you see me with sneakers on. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time on this, and I really want you to walk with me with this. Freedom, the relief of no longer masquerading between your two lives. I want you to pay attention to when the scholars say, I want you to write this in gold ink, and I'm not a scholar, they want to say, they don't want you to forget what they're going to say. I want you to write this in gold ink, what I'm getting ready to say. I'm going to read what I said again, and then I want you to write gold ink what I say after I read this for the second time. Freedom, the relief of no longer masquerading between your two lives. Your children live two lives, they live double lives. Some of the parents I can see everybody. Everyone can't see everybody. You should see, when I just said that, what the facial expression on your children's face, which confirmed what I'm saying. You should see the way they move, their body language. They live two lives. They have a campus life and they have a home life. Their campus life is more like themselves. But the maintenance of keeping up with two lives takes a toll on them. So once they leave the university, and once they get into their career, and they get to a little small apartment, and hopefully it becomes a big house, somebody love, is this sense of freedom that they have. Because they no longer have to keep up with the maintenance of both of those lives they're living. And this is something that a lot of parents cannot accept. You come to the dinner table, you have your hummus, and you have your biryani, you have your duki chai, you have all this stuff. Why is that? Oh, my day was mashallah. Oh, it was okay. But their life is inside their DMs on Instagram. That's their life that you don't know about. And again, when I said this, you should see their faces. Their physiology is telling everything. Of course, Abdullah's up here, so he has to keep his joker, his poker face. What makes someone create another life? So what is exactly creating another life? It's that I can't be my authentic self. Because the standards of some of our parents, especially Desi parents, is to a level of perfection, and perfection does no longer exist anymore. I'm sorry to tell you. It's so high that your children are trying to please you and trying to keep up with this and trying to keep a social life and trying to come to the Masjid for Friday night program and they're trying to do all of this other stuff and they're trying to deal with their school and they don't want to make you upset, but at the same time they're going through the challenges of being a late teen into early 20s, all of the hormonal things that they're going through, and they have to face you every day. They have to face their warden every day. So guess what? In our house, we got a bunch of Donald Trumps when we should have a bunch of Colin Kaepernicks. And this is what I deal with I have 567 mentees, 567 cases. I can go down the list if you want me to, but this is a bigger problem. So they can't be their authentic selves. So when they leave, this is why some of your children, they're looking for jobs. What's the furthest part in the United States? Seattle. Watch. They're looking for jobs way in Seattle. It's not, I just gotta get away from them. Listen, Baba and Chacha Sab, I'll see you on the Eids and the weddings. They want to get so far away from me. This is a hard pill to swallow. I have children, just had a baby, a few months ago. This is not easy for someone to say, but it has to be said. We are so accustomed to people, we just want to feel good lecture. MashaAllah, that we want to know about the story of Sayyidina Musa, we want to know about the Sirah, we want to know about Allah's mercy. These things are essential. But we talk about them so much where it becomes, okay, all right, well, Allah's mercy, He's going to forgive us. So when people talk like this, it makes people uncomfortable, except the youth. The youth are the patients. So what happens is that you have doctors that come to you, they are putting a Band-Aid over a wound that needs surgery. So this is surgery. We're cutting it open and we're taking the cancer out. That's what we're doing here. And this is important. So freedom, the relief of no longer masquerading between your two lives. And we want to come back to this. I talked about perfection. I'm going to bounce between two things. I talked about perfection. This level of having to always be perfect. And not just chill, just take it easy. So every time the Nabi left his house, there was always eyes on him. You know how when you're looking at, like paparazzi and they're always taking pictures of some celebrity on a boat or whatever? The Sahaba, they always had their eyes on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Constantly looking at them. They said, we swear by Allah, when we seen Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming, he never burdened us with Quran. He never burdened us and said, Sayyidina Jibril came to me and he told me a different hadith or whatever. He said, how your family doing? How's everything? Everything. He would tell me, he didn't burden them with that. So when they seen him coming, it brought delight to them. When we see our brothers and our sisters and our parents coming, is it a burden to see them coming and a blessing to see them leave? Or a blessing to see them coming and a burden to see them leave? Like Imam Ali karamallahu wajhu ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in. I said the ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in. I made it plural because I'm thinking about the other three that came before him. So I said plural. But Imam Ali, he said that you should have a relationship with people that when you come in, their hearts are filled with light, and when you are leaving, they start to cry. They don't even want to see you leave. So with us it's the opposite way around when we burden people. So we have this idea of limits. The human mind, body, and soul has limitations and boundaries. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Linafsika alayka haqqan." He said that basically your body has rights over you. Your mind has rights over you. The great Sahabi Jabir, he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." He said, "I swear by Allah that after I take bay'at to you, take a pledge to you," he said, I want to do all of my ibadat. I don't want to miss salat." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Take it easy, be mastata'at. Only as much as you can. You can't. You're not Abu Bakr. You can't get all of your money. We have different capacities. Masjid, we have different capacities. So it has. You have to understand that when you come into career, take your time, learn the system at work. Take it easy upon yourself. You have limitations. The very first thing that you should do is keep your salat. If that's all you can do when you go into a career, you might not be able to hang out with like we're going out to have some food later, right? You may not be able to hang out with the boys. Like you got a project you have to do for work. Make sure you're making this salat. So some things are going to be compromised because you're in the career no more and you're becoming an adult now. So that's a part of the balance. What does Allah Azza wa Jalla say? This ayah, we all know this ayah. But something unique took place with this ayah. I just thought about this just now. Something unique took place with this ayah when I was studying with my shuyukh. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Most of us know this ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah Azza wa Jalla created this community that is wasata, that is balanced. How many ayahs does Surah Al-Baqarah have? 286. If you split 286 in the middle, what do you get? I know we have some engineers in here. 143. What ayah is that? That's 143. Allah Azza wa Jalla says the middle course, He puts in the middle of Surah Al-Baqarah. So you created to be balanced. You are not able to withstand a life that is extreme. Because if you keep driving in your car, and those RPMs keep going up, what's going to eventually happen? You're going to run that engine. That engine can only take so much, even though it's a machine, even if you have German engineering. If you keep running the RPMs up and up, and it's not built for that. Nothing is built to be extreme like that. So you have to, so you have to understand, listen, know your limitations, spiritually and otherwise. Allah says, فَتَقَّ اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Only fear me as much as you can. You may only be able to make your 5 salawat. You may only be able to make Jum'ah. You may only be able to do some basic things. Don't try to do it all. Don't try to do it all, because if you try to do it all, you're not able to do that. You're not going to be able to withstand that. And we already know the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah likes a deed that is small, but it's consistent. So this shows the limitation, this shows the balance of the believers. You're going to fail. Even if you haven't failed from K to undergrad, you're going to fail. You got to get back up. You got to stay focused. You're going to have a boss that is a creep. You're going to have jerk co-workers. Don't be emotional. Hold yourself together. So you're going to fail. Failure is a point and place where you create a detour, not a point for you to quit. Khalid bin Walid. Saifullah. Khalid. Who doesn't know this name? This name is like world famous. It'll never be erased. From now until the day Yom Kippur, this name everybody will always remember. This is the honor that Allah gave him. What does Allah say in Surah Al-Fatiha in the 10th ayah? مَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ إِزَّةَ فَلِلَّهِ إِزَّةُ جَمِيعًا. If you want honor, know that it comes from Allah. Why? Because I can give you some honor, but if I'm giving it to you, I can take it away. If Allah gives it to you, nobody can take it away. So Khalid bin Walid, Sayyidina Khalid bin Walid, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was given honor by Allah. So I'm mentioning that to make a point. At one of the battles, the disbelievers, they cut off every single possible way for the Muslims to get in. So they had to leave. They said, we don't have to worry about Khalid. There's no way that they can get in. And in the middle of the battle, Ibn Kathir relates the story in Bidayah wa Nihaya. If you go to Bidayah wa Nihaya, you go to the history section, you will see this part I'm telling you. They said, while we was fighting, we seen this dust coming up. And we heard the horses trembling. And that's all we heard. They said by the time the dust settled, everything was gone. And it was Khalid. They said, we don't know how this man got it. They said because when he was little and he was going around merching the different cities, he said he knew paths that he did not know. Failure is a point when you create a detour. He said, you can stop me either way, so I want to find a way to come and service the believers. So failure is a place where you create a detour, not stop and quit. So you keep going. And our whole life is failure. We always ask Him what is the judge for forgiveness. The believer's life is balanced in between two things. What is it? Thankfulness and forgiveness. Because you always become unthankful for something, so that causes you to, every time you come to the sentence, because you're unthankful. Right? So failure is a place and point and place where you create a detour, not a point for you to quit. You gotta toughen up. It's a tough world out there. You gotta toughen up. I'm telling you this now. You gotta be tough. You gotta be not harsh, but you gotta have some type of richness with you. And dealing with people, kindness in your heart, then you gotta say, okay, all right, I gotta get this done. I know that this employee is trying to stop me, this coworker is trying to stop me. I'm gonna go around him, and I'm going to make sure that I seek what is best for me and what is best for my family. So failure, again, is a point, some of these we want to go back to, is a point and place where we create a detour, not for you to quit. Success. Success. Your success was more of His Azawajal's mercy and less of your effort. Two things you gotta have: intellectual humility, and when you become successful, the quickest way for Allah to take something from you is to feel you have kibr in your heart, arrogance. Oh, look what I'm driving, look who I am. It was more of Allah's effort. He destined for you to be. He just chose for you to be the one to put forth his ni'mah. And we all know the ayat. We all know this. A lot of y'all put this on your caps. We see this a lot when you graduate. But I want you to pay attention to what you're saying. If we really wanted to go into Arabic, like how Allah started this off with a negation, that's a whole totally different. So you've got to be very, very careful when you put this of what you're actually saying. Nevertheless, so it is arrogance that coerces you into thinking it's the opposite. So you're going to become successful. You're going to be known in the hospital. You're going to be known at the engineering firm. You're going to be known as the Muslim. You're going to be known as somebody that does the ibadat. You're going to be known for somebody who has good kalam, who gives good nasiha. She is someone who is pious. She's somebody. This stuff is how Allah. Shaitan always misguides people who are religious first. Look at you. Look at you with your hijab. Look at you. You're making salat. You're waking up for tahajjud. I'm going to tell you what Shaitan did to Sayyidina Abu Bakr al-Siddiq. This story is absolutely amazing. My mother, who's in her 60s, do I have more wisdom than her? I can have more education. I never can have more wisdom than her because she lived longer than me. How long has Shaitan been alive? He's older than everybody. You'll never be able to outsmart him. Sayyidina Abu Bakr al-Siddiq always woke up for tahajjud. Shaitan came and he said, I'm going to make him miss tahajjud this particular day. So Shaitan started to walk out and he turned back around and he thought to himself. He said, I swear by Allah, I make this one miss Fajr, make miss tahajjud for one time. I swear by Allah, he'll never miss Fajr until the day Yom Tahajjud and the day Yom Qiyamah. So he woke him up. This is his wisdom. He said, if I do this, he's even going to go even harder. So I'm just going to let it just keep going up. This is who you're dealing with. So you be very, very careful of your own waswas. Be very, very careful of your own nafs. Be very, very careful of this. Because you can start thinking and you can start feeling like you're somebody. Take it easy. Take it easy with yourself. Take it easy. You are just a slave. It doesn't matter what degree that you have. You're just a slave. Not just a slave, but in this case, just a slave. What's the greatest degree that Allah can give somebody? That of a Nabi, correct? The degree, that university, that very exclusive university, He gives the degree to the Nabis, right? Let's pay attention to Sayyidina Musa when he received his degree from Allah. What he said. When you receive your degree, you're now qualified to go into the field in which you have studied, correct? There's no more ta'aleem with the riba. There's no more training and education after that, correct? You're now qualified from George Mason, Virginia Tech, Harvard, Yale. You're now qualified to do that. Let's see what Nabi Musa said when he got his degree from Allah. There's no one alive today that can receive this degree. The last degree was the salutatorian and valedictorian is Rasulullah. He's the last person that got the degree, and he's the best one. So here's what he said. After all of these miracles and after this conversation that he had, Surah Al-Taha, page 313, 314, and 315. These are the pages that this took place in. He said, after اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى. That was this, go to Fir'aun because he's transgressed. He gave him his degree and said, you are qualified to go now. Sayyidina Musa didn't say, khalas. I'm going to go, and I'm going to snatch Fir'aun out of his throne, and the rest is going to be history. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من اهلي هارون اخي اشدد به ازري واشركه في امري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا انك كنت بنا بصيرا. الله اكبر. I don't understand how he was able to say this. He's speaking to Allah Azza wa Jal, Kalim Allah. Open up my chest for me, make myself clear. We all know these ayats. But pay attention to what he did next, which was the most greatest thing ever that a person can do to her brother or her sister. Why? Because our mother Aisha said, who of you can tell me who did the best to their brother? And then someone said, I swear by Allah that I can tell. And she said, no, you shouldn't swear by Allah. She said, I don't know if you're going to be right or not. So she got upset that he swore by Allah like this. She said it was Musa with his brother Harun. And she said he was correct, but I didn't like that he swore like that. The hadith is in Bukhari. He said, choose from me a helper from my family. My brother Harun. Pay attention to what he said. Ushdud bihi azri. And allow my strength to come through him. Harun is lower than him. So when you get your degree, do you help your brothers or do you try to shine on them and throw them shade? And look what I've done. You went to the community college. I went to Virginia Tech. I went to big university. Nabi Musa said, I want to get my brother. The only Nabi that became a Nabi, and he didn't even know he was a Nabi, this is what a dua does for you, was Sayyidina Harun. Because Sayyidina Harun was not up there talking to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why Allah Azza wa Jal says next. Everything you just asked for, we just gave it to you. At that point, at this particular ayat, Sayyidina Harun, which was somewhere in a distant land, he automatically became a Nabi because he didn't even know he was, it had to be told to him that he was a Nabi. This has never happened before. Why? Because the humility of the intellectual humility and the success of receiving success, he was able to think about his brother. Even though this was his biological brother, we're talking about all of the brothers in this ummah. So do you help your brother out when you get into that engineering, into that medical school, and so whatever it is that you want to do you help your brother out when you just say, man, I can't wait to get on Instagram and show them how fly I am. This is not the way of the Nabi. So of course we said, success was more of his mercy and less of your effort. It is arrogance that has coerced you into thinking it is the opposite. So let's talk about this. Why her? Why her? Why not him? Because there's a him that's just like that. Why her? Let me explain something to y'all real quick. I want to be very careful what's getting ready to come out of my mouth. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the absolute love of his life. We all love the love story between Sayyidina Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Khadija Kubra. She's the great one. A woman's place is where Khadija Kubra was. It's not what your Desi aunt says, what your Arab uncle says. It's what, she was the CEO of a business that hired your Nabi. And it was because of her money that she was making for the business that began the first stage of Islam that brought all of us as Muslims. So where is this? Well, she's supposed to be in the house cleaning up and having these babies and, just out taking care of everything because, and Lahore, this is what the women do. Because in Egypt, this is what they do in Sith. I love Lahore. I love biryani. I love mint chutney. I love hummus. I love injera. I don't care about any of those foods. The Messenger of Allah and his wife had already set this up. Why do you think Imam Bukhari kept that in there? The fact that she was an entrepreneur, the fact that she gave your Prophet ﷺ a job, and she loved him so much because of how trustworthy he was. So it was based on business and money, she was getting her own bag. It was based on business and money that created this love in between them that we all love. But why do we keep out that part of the story? Why isn't that important? Why? Because if I say something, the Adam Center might not let me back here because I'm a famous YouTube chick and I need to keep my following. Let me explain something to you on the day of Yom Qiyamah. Not a soul in here, not even my sister Manar and my brother Saif will be able to speak up for me on the day of Yom Qiyamah. So you can speak in front of a crowd and make people happy, but as my sheikh, my father Rahimahullah said, he said, guess what? There are many people who make audiences happy, but they make Allah upset. If you make Allah happy and the audience does not like what you're saying, he said, on the day of Yom Qiyamah, you're a free person. So I'm explaining this to you that's why we have her up there. But if it's something that is a part of your culture that brings some benefit, because we are balanced, then the lady should consider if this is the way our family, if people in our family, like let's say the women in the family historically have stayed home or whatever, and maybe there's some common ground, maybe she can work for a few years because she worked all this time to go to school and not to be put inside of a house. But if it's something a part of your culture and it'll cause problems to our family if they see her working, then that's something that y'all have to, figure out with yourself. I'm actually dealing with a situation like that is from this area. Two young people. I'm actually dealing with a situation like that. successful, you have a responsibility. Being fulfilled, I'm glad I didn't say success. Being fulfilled is the ultimate goal. One reaching this status through khidmah. رَفَأَ قَدْرًا مِنَ الْقَصَّبَ لِخِدْمَةِ مَوْلَاهُ. Allah Azza wa Jalla gives ranks to those people who do khidmah. I want y'all to pay attention to this. You want to be successful, you want to have a whole bunch of money. I lived a very comfortable life. Not until I started to serve was I fulfilled. There's a difference. Fir'aun, successful. Sayyidina Musa, fulfilled. Very simple. You have to start doing things that are beyond your name. Something that's bigger than what it is. This statement here that you see, when I say the statement, I don't even want to even, it's difficult for me to even say that statement that's on the screen in English. I'm going to say the statement. But this particular statement, Yarhamukallah, this particular statement, there's a story behind it. There's something that's called root to fruit. There's people that can quote ayats in the Quran and in the Hadith, but they cannot give you the root of it. When was that said? Why was that said? It's called someone who really has knowledge. They can tell you exactly how it happened, why it happened, where it happened. So I want y'all to stop being so impressed. I want you to first produce results. When Rasulullah told the Ansar, he said, I want you to give your life and your property. You know, they said, what do we get in it? He said, you will be able to get Jannah. He's going to produce results for them. Umar bin Khattab, at this statement is Umar bin Khattab's statement, radiallahu ta'ala anhu wa ardah. When he makes this statement, he is in control of 1/3 of the world. You know a lot of powerful people in this world. You don't know nobody that's had 1/3 control of the world. He's a multi-millionaire when he makes this statement. There's a famine in Medina and the surrounding areas. Umar said, I swear by Allah that I will not put no food in my mouth until everyone eats. So he wrote a letter, just like you know Uthman. He wrote a letter to Egypt, to Amr bin As. He said, did you not hear about our condition? And before they even finished his sentence, they sent like 1,000 camels. So he was on this hunger strike. So his assistant brought him some food. And Umar pushed it away. He said, I don't eat. They said, yeah, we made us a promise that if the people eat, the people have ate, that you would eat. He said, yes, I did make this promise. He said, but you brought me the best part of the camel. You only brought that to me because I'm going to take this stuff away. Take this away. You only brought that to me because you think that I'm in a position. Look at the humility. He woke up for tahajjud. We're going to get to the statement. His wife came in. They said, so when they would slaughter a camel, it would produce an oil. And he took like what you would call bread now, what you call naan and roti, he took that and he would eat that. He was eating it so much that the oil started to burn in his face. They said, yeah, Omar, you have to eat. We're starting to see like dark spots in your face. So he's up at the Hajj and he was making this very, very long dua. And his wife came in and she said, yeah, Amir al-Mu'mineen. She said, you have to eat. She said, please eat. And then he made a statement. قال عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه فكيف يعنيني شأن رعية إذا لم يمسني ما مسه. No one in here, even if you speak fluent Arabic, you can never speak like this. It doesn't even exist anymore. How this man, the way this man was able to say this particular statement, this is one of the greatest humanitarian statements that you can say. Remember, he's 1/3 of the world. Imagine that Donald Trump, who's just a few blocks away from us, does he go into a homeless person and say, listen, I want to speak on a concrete with you? It would be something that social media will go crazy because of. How can I appreciate the difficulty of my subjects or the people that's under me without sharing in their struggle? Allahu Akbar. Who is this saying the statement? This is Umar. لو كان بعدي لكان عمر if there was another prophet, it'd be Umar. Second person to be promised Jannah. Second greatest person to walk the face of. Everything's cool with him. He's straight. He doesn't have to worry about. And he says this. After being a multi-millionaire, 1/3 of the world, and you get a degree and you can't put in the pot, you can't help the Somalis, you can't help this person. You only help your country, and you should help your country, but it's only if it's only for Lahore, if it's only for Egypt, if it's only for Saudi. Did he say only the, you have to understand, a Christian lady came to him during his time. She said, yeah, Umar bin Khattab, he said, give her a whole camel. He didn't say, oh, yeah, she's amongst the Mushrikeen, and he didn't do that. So the statement, everyone who's under his jurisdiction, this statement is incredible. So you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility, and you can only reach this, which is the ultimate goal, to be fulfilled. Everything that you see is going to perish. Everything that you love, the cars that you like, the people that you love, is going to perish. It's going to all come up from the earth. Right? It's going to all come up from the earth. It's all going to come up. إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. أَخْرَجَتُ. Listen, when somebody prepares a nice meal for you, it looks nice, right? When you eat it and then you spit it up, does it look nice? Pay attention to what Ibn Kathir says. Surah Al-Zalzala, page 599 to 99 surah. I'm quoting the second, third, and the fourth ayats. وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. Everything that you love in this dunya was created from the earth. So when it spits it up, Ibn Kathir said the person that stole for this, the person that lied for this, he would say, I can't believe I did this for this stuff right here. وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. Ibn Kathir says the believers will not ask this question. Why? Because we already knew that the earth was going to shake. Allahu Akbar. He said that question is not for the believers. We knew that this day was coming. So we're going to be going to Allah as He's calling us. وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا. So while you're here for this al-hayat al-qasira, this short life, and you want to make sure that you fulfill its ultimate goal, reaching it by khidmah, and not trying to be seen while you're doing it. You have to make sure your intentions are purified. So we're going to backtrack a little bit. If you want to go to the masquerade. Many of your youth reached out to me and they said, Hanif, they said it would mean a lot to us if you mentioned something about marriage. I made a decision 30 minutes beforehand. I'm not an impulse person, nor can I be, I'm not swayed in any way. I'm not easily, whatever they say, I don't do that. I'm a man's man, and this is how my life is run. So you just can't just tell me anything, and I just like the youth come to me, my parents being so mean to me, or whatever. I said, listen, relax. They just telling me, they want you to fear the law. It's not that serious. Take it easy, relax. You don't have to send me a text at 2:32 in the morning. Take it easy, relax, it's fine. I'm not easy, you can't be moved, the believer can't always move off emotions. Listen to what's being said. So we'll talk about marriage for just a few minutes. So part of the reason why they are masquerading in between their two lives, one of their lives is that they have somebody that they are courting. They have somebody that they're talking to. I don't know the lengths of it, and I'm not really concerned about the lengths of it, but know that it's got very intimate. Intimate meaning that they talk about their secrets, they may even start falling in love, and dare I say, they may be somebody from a different culture than what you're accustomed to. So the Somali might like the Egyptian might like the Desi might like the African American might like the European. So why do they keep this a secret? Because they know that you don't accept this, and they know that you don't follow the Sunnah all the way. They know that you are selective in what part of the Sunnah you want to follow. That's what it comes down to. And I can't say it any other way. If I gave you some orange juice and said, do you mind if I put a little bit of water in it before I give it to you? I said, yeah, honey, they come from Florida the way Allah created them. Just squeeze them in. Don't put no water in it. So why would I give you a deen like that? Just a little bit of water in orange. Just a little bit. No, I don't want you. I want you to give it to me 100%. That's why I'm giving it to you 100%. And because of that, The parents have created one of the biggest musibas that I have seen in the past 10 years. I got a message 2 days ago. Zinna's like, oh, it's just Zinna. Well, Allah will forgive us. And it's no astaghfirullah, my kids. No child, no Muslim child, born, raised Muslim, or if they came Muslim, rolls out of bed and say, listen, I just want to commit Zinna. It's a root to it. It's called pathology in psychology. It's a path that somebody takes to get to a certain point. It's stages. People just don't wake up and just do things like that. So you start looking at the cause. So when the parent comes into my office and they say, listen, my son is whatever problem that they have, the first thing I start to do, it's never about the alcohol. It's never about the alcohol. It's never about the weed. It's never about the pornography. It's about the cause of it. What caused it? What triggered it? And once I start talking about that, they say, yeah, Sheikh Khalas, my son. Because when you start peeling back that onion, it always points back to the end. And of course, everybody is responsible for himself. We know the ayat, but I'm talking about some real things. Okay, let's start talking about things. Okay, this person is acting like this because this person was molested by a family member that is your brother, and there's a chance that you may know about. So this is what started okay, this is happening because of this. It's very rarely, 99.9% is never about the problem that you're presenting to me. Pronounce takfir on them, Shaykh. Tell them that they're out of it. Tell them that rage, depression is rage turned outward. Depression is rage turned inward. Rage is depression turned outward. What does that exactly mean? When someone is rebellious, you can physically see that they, I want everybody to know I ain't wearing a hijab. I'm on Instagram and smoking hookah, blowing smoke. That's called rebellion. That comes from a point. Both of them come from pain, but one is visible and one is invisible. Someone depressed, you can't see it, but it's still pain. So let's get to the source of pain. I don't know if I told you all last time, but about the study at Harvard with the stove and the baby, about what pain does to you. This is very important for me to mention. They did a study at Harvard. They took a stove and they turned the stove up. They took a baby, maybe 6 months old, and they put the baby on a high chair, eye level distance to a hot stove. They took the baby's hand and they put it very, very close. I want you to walk with me while I'm telling this. They put the baby's hand close to the stove. The baby went hysterical. They waited 3 months and they sat the baby there and they would make formula with that same stove and give it to the baby. The baby would eat the formula. Then after a while, they took the baby's hand. Before they even started with the baby, went hysterical. What's the point? What's the point of the study? The point of the study is that even though somebody is providing you sustenance, if the source of the pain is not cured, you're still going to be hysterical. So what does our parents say? I feed you, right? You got my credit card in college. That doesn't mean you can be tired. What did Fir'aun say? What's the first thing that came out of Fir'aun's mouth when Sayyid bin Musa came in his palace? Wasn't you raised up in here? Didn't I give you the best? Say, yes, I was raised up in here. But and while I was raised there, I watched you be a tyrant with all of these people. So don't be, do you see how this is? This is amazing, right? See, think about you say these things. Hey, listen, look, I take care of you, so what does that mean? It means something, but it doesn't mean anything the way you're trying to interpret it. So what our children do is that they're smart. They have fatana, they have aql, they have intelligence. They are like, okay, let me navigate around this. And let me put my double face on. And I cannot wait to get a job so far away from them so I can be free from them. And why? Because trust enables communication. So what is the cause of this? Trust enables, it's 3 words. Trust enables communication. Trust enables communication. My children don't talk to me. It's simple as this, they don't trust you. I didn't say that they didn't love you. I didn't say anything about love. I said they don't trust you. They can respect you, but they don't trust you. Trust is greater than all of those things. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his name is Rasulullah. Like this is his title, right? The Messenger of Allah. What's his title before that? Al-Amin, trustworthy. You have to be trustworthy before you start telling people what to do. So what's the difference between trust? You flew on an airplane before, right? When you sit next to a stranger on it, I'm giving you a simple example of what trust is. When you're sitting next to a stranger and they say, hey, how you doing? What's your name? What is your name? Ahmed. This is a good name to have. One of the best names to have. It's in Bukhari, it's one of the best names. So Ahmed, if one of the greatest musnads is the musnad of Imam Ahmed. So if you want to learn about the chain of narrations, it's the musnad of Imam Ahmed. Okay, so this is a good name. Rahimahullah. They say, hey, how you doing, Ahmed? Where are you from? Northern Virginia? Hey, can you give me the last one of your social security number? What are you going to say? No, I'm not going to give that to you. But if the same person worked at the bank and they asked for you want to give it to them, right? Of course, access to the account. So what's the difference between the two? The difference between the two is trust. You're not going to tell people personal things that you don't trust. That's the point. So if your children aren't telling you the personal things that's making them put the mask on, it's because they don't trust you. But shit, that's a hard thing to say. I mean, most medicine is bitter. But if you sweeten it up, yes, it makes it sweet, but it also weakens the cure. And too much time, people are sprinkling things on our. We just want the shit to come here and tell us and make us feel good. Like, I'm telling you what is real. This is surgery. That's why they put you under anesthesia for surgery, because it's so painful. We can't take the pain away. We can only give you anesthesia because this is so painful. You won't be able to withstand this if you was alive. So this is what surgery is about. So I'm explaining to you that trust enables communication is the very first rule of psychology and service, even from our zero. Trust. You share some personal things with me, right, Abdullah? There's a trust level between us, right? There's something that I probably would never, I would take what you tell me to my grave, right? So if I say, hey, what's up about that girl? You say, listen, here's the situation. You'll start telling me about it because there's trust there. If you ask your children things, you should see their faces right now. This is incredible. You should see your children's face. This is really, really incredible. Like the energy, the electricity that's going through my body. This whole masjid, it could be a blackout, but it'll stay, the lights will stay on because the electricity is just going through my body. The lights will stay on. You won't even know it's a blackout. That's how much electricity I'm getting. Receiving. So what do we want? We want band-aids over wounds, or we do want surgeries? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came and he cut wounds open, took out the cancer, and he delivered the greatest generation. Those 23 years, you'll never see it ever again. It's golden. They remain in the akhirah now. Because he came and he did surgery. It wasn't this, everything's going to be okay. And it's going to, he came as the glad tidings and the warning. Not only a warning, not only glad tidings, not only everything's going to be okay and not always being harsh, but it was a balance between the two. So what do we want to do? We want to have real talk. We want to progress our youth. We want them to maintain this culture that is imprisoning them. Is everybody welcome here? Is everybody can come? These masjids are hospitals. So how do you want to cut off the chemotherapy? Well, people do chemotherapy. And guess what? When people are sick, that's why they're treating themselves. That's why you see the ummah in this big musibah that they have, this big trial, because they're killing themselves. I can't go to the masjid because the imam, he doesn't believe it's a board, and they don't even think, come on. But then I get the emails, which I don't mind. So what do we want? If you want a feel-good lecture, I listen to Mufti, man. Makes me feel good, that's fine. May Allah bless him. You can go to YouTube and find that. If you want results, I'm always here for you. No one controls me. Nobody can say, we don't want him speaking anymore. Let me explain something to you about rizqu tarabbana. If I don't ever come back to this masjid or any place ever before, when I get back to Carolina, guess what's going to be in a microwave wave? Not a morsel of rice is going to be off of my plate. I'm not going to be affected anyway or not. So the youth need someone on the forefront for them. You'll be hard pressed to find somebody on the forefront like this slave here to help, to be there with you, and not just to be taken advantage of by everything that you tell them. Mughira, the Sahabi, before we open up the Q&A. He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hadith is in Tirmidhi. Hadith is in Bukhari. Hadith is in Muslim. Hadith is in Musnad Ahmed. Hadith is, all of them collected this hadith. So the ulama say, if you have a bunch of people collecting the hadith, there's no doubt about it that it has to be the truth, because all these people cannot be exaggerated. So Mughira comes up to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that lady over there, I want to marry. That's what he said. I want you to pay attention to the Masjid sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's response. He did not say, just go to Abu Bakr and learn some Quran. There's a reason why he didn't say that. He said, Idhab fandur ilayha. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. He said, let me explain to you what idhab means. We said that Allah told Sayyidina Musa, Idhab fandur. He said, Idhab ila fir'auna innahu tagha. It said, he's ordered him to go to Fir'aun. So why would Rasulullah speak this aggressive to a Sahabi that's asking for something very beautiful? Go, I'm ordering you to go and go look at her. Because he came to him with a desire. The ulama say, when he came to the messenger, he made entering Jannah very, very easy. It was very difficult to be around, to even think about going to Jannah. He closed the doors for him. He said, but in your times, they've made walking into Jannah very, very easy. They made very, very difficult paradise. That's why the ulama say, Ma'aruf zamanina, munkar zamanina, wa qad mada. At the times of the past, what you think is good, we thought was bad in the past. So Rasulullah said, Idhab fandur ilayha, he ordered him to go. Why? Because if he stops him, what does he open up the door for? He already told him that he opens up the door for Jannah. He said that he always closes the door of Jahannam. He said, go and look at her. Let's finish the rest of the hadith. The rest of the hadith said, Mughira, after he got married to this lady, he went around the Sahaba. He said, because Rasulullah allowed me to do that, I fell over. He would constantly talk about how he loved his wife. The hadith, just look, go to Google and type in Mughira, look hadith. And you'll read what I'm saying. You're getting cards now. If you want to ask me anonymously, we're sleep deprived, so we only running on 2 hours of sleep. So that's one of the things that's very, very important. Is being able to be balanced and being able to make things easy for people. Does this mean that you can go up to your parents and say, I want to look? That's not what this means. The point that it means is the fact that we have to make things easier on people. So you can ask whatever you wish. Inshallah khair. You can send your questions up anonymously, inshallah. No question is off limits for us. I think we mentioned it was a non-judgmental zone for questions, inshallah. And if we can do that, then that'll be good. No. All the problems that we mentioned and we have at the home, here's the good news about all of them can be fixed with unity and understanding. Let me say something about the parents, because I don't want to be too crazy here, right? When your parents advise you, they're advising you because they want the best for you. They're not trying to derail you. Even though they may be extreme in their cultural view, or even if some of them don't have culture, they just religiously extreme, or they think about the world so much. But at the end, they want the best for you. So I want you to always think about that, so don't go too crazy on them, right? I want you to say, well, you know what, she wants the best for me, and you should try to be kind to them. Listen to what they have to say, because guess what? They've traveled the road, and they may be able to look at an individual, a young man or a young lady, and say, listen, she's not going to be good for you, because it's characteristics that they see. But if it's just, I don't even want to meet him, there ain't no sit down, stuff like that is too extreme. Then you should at least meet the brother. If he's from Somalia, he has a good character, you're from Egypt, and if it's such a big deal about your culture, then we can bring those things up. That's really not that big a deal. There's nothing wrong with marrying inside of your culture. It becomes wrong when you think that we only want to marry Egyptians, we only want to marry Syrians, they're the best people on the face of the earth. When you start thinking like that, then you go into the area of trying to transgress the lives of whatever. So, and this is what we should think about. So, y'all can bring your questions forth, inshallah, and what kind of tea is this? Pakistan. Do you keep check?
Yeah.
When you guys finish writing, just hold them up and just pass them up to me.
I'm always delighted to come here.
Question. So you mentor both male and females, I'm assuming?
Yes.
This is my first time
Of course,
coming in
yes.
and learning anything
Yes.
today. And is there if a female needs a mentor that is a female, is there somebody that you can recommend?
Dr. Layla, she speaks Arabic and English. She's a psychologist. If you go to our website, muslimmindscan.org, and you want to speak to Dr. Layla, she's able to do this. Her service is free. She's a board certified psychologist out of Minnesota. She speaks Arabic and English. I think she may speak Urdu too. She's very gifted. She's astute, she's smart, she's sharp, and she's no nonsense. So a lot of times when we come, a lot of times when you go to the the emergency room, he was like, you can just give me some penicillin. The doctor's looking at you like, I'm the one who has a medical degree. Stop trying to treat ourselves. Let the scholars talk, let the Dalis talk, let the Du'at talk, and let the people who are professionals just come and tell your side and put a period at the end of it. But she's smart, she's focused, she's out of Minnesota, she has been a part of this, but yes, you can have someone, if you choose specifically for a lady to mentor you, you can have Dr. Layla. And not only will she mentor you, she can give you PAs, which is psychological assessments, because everyone in here needs a psychological assessment. Every single person does. You know what I mean? And it's very important for that. So yes, Dr. Layla is there for you. MuslimMindsCan.org. Just, if you go to Muslim Minds, I think it's a section.
Muslim Minds?
Muslim Minds. Muslim Minds Can, CAN.org.
CAN?
Yeah. .org.
Thank you.
And this is our organization, and you can go there and send the email, and Dr. Layla and her team will get in contact with you. This is just another resource that we have. This is a free resource that we gave the youth. We built it ourselves. This is a free resource. You may see Muslim Minds Can on Instagram, whatever. This is a free resource that you have. You can find a mentor, a cool mentor that understands the deen, that doesn't compromise. That's cool. And like I said, let's move forward and let's heal together. I want to be in gender with everybody. I don't know about y'all, but I want to be in gender. You know what I mean? So I don't want to deal with it. Let's fix these issues. It's going to take some time. We may not even see it during our lifetime, but we got to calm down with the culture stuff, and we have to calm down with the not listening to parent stuff too. That's not just because your parent may be a good person, but she may have one thing about the culture thing, so you try to make it seem like she's a bad person. Like, no, she's just, with that issue, she has an issue. So we help her with that, and we move forward. We will be here tomorrow to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Somebody wishes to reach out to us, we'll try to do our best to assist you with that. We ask for your patience. And I think we are coming back in the fall to GMU to give khutbah, to give one of our lectures, inshallah. How do you balance fitting into the company culture and our needs and values? Most of you are very smart, so you're going to do a really good job when you graduate, inshallah, right? We ask Allah to really give you tawfiq, inshallah. I hope y'all can say Ameen. You know what I mean? They're going to give you a contract. They're going to give you an offer. They're going to email you an offer. You now have control. I want to have Fridays off. I want to be able to combine my 2:15s and my 30 to make Jumu'ah. Your very first thing is Salat. The very first thing is your Salat. Keep your Salat. If you're not able to do that, then allow them to create a space for you to do your 5 Salat. Because once they offer you a letter, I believe in the Commonwealth of Virginia, they cannot take it back without just cause. So you send them a counter offer of Jumu'ah and the things that I mentioned. And let them know that you're Muslim. And let them know about how you feel about different issues. It's a perfect, so much dawah can be given in the workplace. Just simple things. When I checked into the hotel today, a brother named Ahmed checked in. And he said, what are you going to tell me? I said, I'm giving a lecture at the Adam Center. He said, Assalamu alaikum, Akhi. He said, I'm Muslim too. That's what he said to me. Yeah, aliens in his ear, but I don't care about tattoos here. I don't care about that stuff. He said, man, I'm Muslim. I said, oh, mashallah, man. You know, we all Muslim, mashallah. And he told me how to get here. I had to get some flowers for my sister because I missed the lunch earlier. My sister's here. And so he told me where to get some flowers. And he was just happy. He was just proud to be a Muslim. He wasn't trying to hide it. Even with some challenges that he may have. He may be singing the Kiki I Love You song from Drake, I don't know. But he was proud to be a Muslim in that moment. So again, when you get the contract, send the offer letter back, and then explain to them, say, listen, I pray, this is a prayer, I'm just, explain to them if they want to know about the prayer or whatever, but they probably already know, say, listen, I just pray, I'll be praying. You'll probably only be doing Salat al-Dhuhr maybe Salat al-Asr in the wintertime. But you just say, I'll pray 5 times a day. This is one of the times that I'll be praying. It will take 3-4 minutes. And be considerate of them giving you this. And also when you go to Jummah, don't be going out getting shawarmas and coming around and making it 2 hours. Just do the khutbah, listen to the khutbah, do the salat, and then salam alaikum class, you'll see everybody later that Friday night. Because you're coming back anyway. You don't have to hang out and shake hands, because we're a hugging and kissing community. We hug and we kiss all the time. You got, salam alaikum, I'll see you later, I'm going to go back to work. So that's how you do that. Just make sure that the contract is the most important thing. So it says, how do you keep a good balance between culture and religion? This is the sunnah to do this. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who all heard of Salman Farsi? Salman Farsi. Who all heard of this name? Everyone heard of this name. It's the world famous name. What did he say? Why Farsi? Why Salman the Persian? Why does he have to attach that into it? Because he wants them to keep his image of coming from Persia. So when somebody said Salman, you don't know who you could be talking about the Salman that's here, the brilliant Hafiz that's here that got married in December. We could be talking about, we ask Allah to bless him too. And raise him amongst the Ahlul Quran, inshallah. He's a good friend. He could be talking about, when you say Salman, there's only one of them. So why does he attach it? Because the identity of it. So how do you challenge it between is that keep doing whatever doesn't compromise the Sunnah. But not only what doesn't compromise the Sunnah, for instance, at Egyptian weddings they dance. So people say, is this permissible? It's not the Sunnah, but if the scholars say if it's a part of the culture, with the bride dancing with her uncles and her father, there's nothing wrong with this. Families, there's nothing wrong with this. This is not something that is so out of... Now, people are smoking and that's something different. And loud music is being played and people jumping on tables, that's something different. But if this is a culture in Egypt where they come and they sit and they surround them and they dance and they do a little spin around thing. This is, I think, something similar like this in the Somali community. The same way when they come together, the aunt's there and they doing a little, two-step or whatever. This is really not a big deal. This is a part of the culture. You shouldn't be so hard. And the scholars talk about this. They said if this is not something that is, there's not really a big deal with that. So we have to make sure that we aren't doing something that's taking them outside of the fold of Islam, or is leading to a musibah. It's leading to such a big test and trial, like this marriage thing, that because I have to marry a Syrian, I have to marry an Egyptian, it has to be like that. And you say, yeah, but I'm in love with the Pakistan. I'm in love with this person. I'm telling you that I'm in love with this person. You keep bringing me back to that. And then you want to marry your cousin, and then your cousin from back home is going to, and then you like, listen, our family's from Syria, but I'm from America. I'm an American. So the American identity has to be identified. My beloved brother Sohaib Webb talks about this. He's one of the ones on the forefront as far as the American Muslim identity. It's very, very difficult. And so it's important to have that American identity. So as long as it does not compromise the Quran and Sunnah, or it's so far-fetched that it creates fitna, then you can keep the culture there. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the culture. It becomes something wrong when it creates a fitna because of this. I'm going to tell you what Umar ibn Khattab did when he was walking through Medina one day. About how you are faced things that are not in the Quran and Sunnah. Imam Ali he was walking with Imam Ali and he came to a tree, Umar ibn Khattab, and he went like this. He said, Astaghfirullah ya Umar, Astaghfirullah ya Umar, Astaghfirullah ya Umar. He said it 3 times. Umar ibn Khattab would talk to himself a lot. So Imam Ali said, what do you see the laws of forgiveness for? The reason why he said that is because they never wanted somebody to do ibadat without them having to be included. That's how the Sahaba, he said, I want to seek Allah. He said, listen. He turned around. SubhanAllah, this statement. The statement is in Ibn Kathir. It needs to be read in Arabic, what he said. He said, I am trying my best to run this ummah, but I am faced with things that did not come down with the Quran. He says, so I'm looking at the society of Medina and I'm making the best decisions off my judgment. He said, not fear that I make a decision that anger Allah. The point that I'm making this is the fact that he looked at society and he considered the society. We need to consider the society of America. For instance, everybody knows what Times Square is, right? I'm going to give you a prime example. And this is a long point that I'm making. Everybody's been to Times Square. It's 1 million people trying to get down 42nd Street. If you see, if a man goes like this to you, is this free mixing? So why would you ask a scholar from Saudi Arabia about free mixing and you show them a picture of Times Square and they've never been there before? Because everybody knows that if you're with your wife or your sister and somebody bumps into you in Times Square, this is something that you don't have gear up because of this. You don't have this is something you cannot control because you live in America. So why would you ask somebody from South? They're going to say this free mixing and then they'll give you all the hadith and all the ahkam. They'll give you that. So what did Umar ibn Khattab say? I'm looking out at society and I'm making decisions based on what I think is the best judgment. So we don't have that in America. In Egypt, there's a fatwa for people in Egypt. In Saudi, there's a fatwa for people for the people of Saudi. So you're skipping over your ulama here and you're asking somebody from Saudi and he has a kursi in Medina. Hafidullah. He has a kursi, he teaches in Medina every night on Thursday night. He teaches and he sits, this is what Allah has given him azza and honor. And so you text him and you have connections with him, what's he going to say? He's going to say, this is what the messenger said about this. He's not going to consider, he doesn't have a scope to understand it. You have people in the MSA, a lady still working on a project, a lady sitting across from the president and co-president, he's the co-president, she's the president, and they sit back, somebody take a picture and they send it to Saudi and say, is this permissible? Not telling nothing about the story. So these things we have to be mindful of. The lady is late for an interview. The interview is on the 76th floor. She pushes the elevator door opens, there's a bunch of men there. She closes it, I can't be on the elevator with her, and she misses the interview. Everything that she worked hard for. Get on the elevator, say Bismillah, your digits, and go to your interview, everything you worked for. I can't be on. This kind of stuff is like, we don't talk about these things. So when you go to Islam Q&A, these are the people who have the courtesies, and we love our shuyukh. Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, I just quoted Sheikh Saleh Fawzan on Instagram today. We love these shuyukh. But they're not looking at it from an American lens. So they're looking at it from that's why Umar ibn Khattab said, I'm looking at Medina and I'm doing the best that I can do. On the topic of marriage, what are the key steps to making sure your marriage is successful as possible in terms of finding a significant other, making sure it is Islamic? Thank you for teaching us. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you. Superman. Did you watch Jurassic World? What is his name? Kareem. Allahu Akram. Alhamdulillah. Living in society that we live in, a double life is inevitable. What advice can you give that best consolidates a two-faced individual into one? Well, we just explained that a double life is not inevitable. It's not inevitable. I gotta fix you, it's not inevitable. It's the choice that you make or you have been forced to make. Inevitable means that it's something that's going to happen. It's something that is like, you're going to die. It's not that inevitable. You have to find ways. You just have to be authentically yourself. You have to have these conversations with them, but more importantly, you need to find a cool mentor that can assist you with these things. A lot of these questions are good, but these questions you have to have someone who helps and guides you through that. How do I communicate better with my parents so that they can understand who I am? They can understand who I am. So they can understand me. So they can understand me. I believe it says, kind, I ain't too kind, I don't know what that says, but you communicate with trust enables communication. Sometimes there's also mistrust sometimes your parents don't trust you too, so it goes both ways. So trust enables communication, that's the first step. Once you gain trust, everything's gonna be smooth. You got that best friend that you can call up and say, hey yo homie, you ain't gonna believe what took place at the Masjid today. She wound up emailing her father and we're gonna have to sit down, and you don't tell anybody that, so you found it so comfortable. So trust enables communication. Let me slow real quick. We love complex things. Sometimes things are made so simple for us. Oh, isn't there more to it? But there's not more to it. Trust enables communication. If you want me to break down trust from a psychological standpoint and give you the verbiage, we can do that, but I'm making it simple for you. Trust enables communication. If you want to have a better relationship with them, when you get married, let me tell you this, when you get married. I'm going to tell you a personal situation about me and my wife. Got married when I was 19 years old. Every time we had a major argument, that's where my lessons were at. Because in arguing, it's fueled with passion and it's fueled with things you've been holding in. So she's just letting all of these things in. Okay, that happened in 2013, but I'm with you. You know, you keep on talking, and then you find yourself at a place, and then I'm worn out, and I say, okay, I learned from this situation. So it's being able to have these difficult conversations. If your parent or your child is so unreasonable, find somebody that's a liaison in the family, an uncle. There's always a cool auntie that we have that's just going to be like, she's cool, she understands the youth. I'm going to use her as a liaison to have this conversation with Baba or Mom. Why ask for forgiveness when Allah is already the most gracious and the most merciful? This is good. This is good. This is called a manipulation of mercy. This is called a manipulation of mercy. The person, they quote the Sahih Hadith. Every single human being makes mistakes, so I can go up tonight and I can just do whatever I want. Allah's going to forgive me. This is a manipulation of mercy. The rahmah of Allah and the forgiveness that He talks about, He says when someone slips, but they're still trying to be sincere. When you slip, because you're going to make mistakes. What's the point of making food? There's no point in me even mentioning that Allah wants you to call on Him. He talks about this in Surah Al-Baqarah. He wants you to call on Him so He can respond. He wants to see you at least try. We want everything. Forgiveness is not an app on an iPhone. I mean, click Allah knows what's up. Like, nah. He wants you to verbalize. And if you can't verbalize, you like some of the ulama say, they say sometimes you're not able to make a dua, but Allah knows that you are sincere and you don't even have to say that, so He answers your dua without you even having to raise your hands or whatever. Don't manipulate Allah's mercy. Oh, He's going to forgive you. The ayat in Surah Zumar. Allah forgives all sins. I'm going to be fine. Who knows Abu Bakr? Who knows Abu Bakr in here? Sayyidina Abu Bakr al-Siddiq. Who knows him? Nobody knows Abu Bakr al-Siddiq? The famous Sahabi? I'm going to tell you what Abu Bakr al-Siddiq said. Was Abu Bakr promised Jannah? The first to promise Jannah. The best of Khayrun nas ba'adi Rasulullah, Abu Bakr. The best of people after the messenger is Abu Bakr. The hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim and Tirmidhi. After he became a promised Jannah, listen to the statement that he said. And Abu Darda, he gave the tafsir on the statement. Abu Bakr al-Siddiq said, if I have on a day Yawm al-Qiyamah, if Allah puts one of my feet inside of Jannah and the other one is out, He said, I swear by Allah that I will start to have like fear and anxiety because Allah can change my destiny like this. He can switch, he can turn me around. He didn't say, after the blessed son of Rasulullah came this ticket to Jannah. And he's still thinking like this? Abu Darda said, I'm going to tell you about Jannah. He said, Jannah doesn't have exits. He said, once you're inside of Jannah, you never can ever get out. Jannah has exits. He said, so the wisdom of our As-Sadiq, he said that there's still a chance that, he said, I want both of them inside there. Because once you're inside, I never can get out. Allahu Akbar. He didn't say, hey, look, I'm promised Jannah. Allah said, they didn't think like this. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, when you have dirt on your shoes, you take a toothbrush and you get your shoes nice and fresh for the girl that you like at MSA, right? You clean your shoes. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, who's 16 in here? Who's 16? 16? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud made this statement when he was 16 years old, I'm getting ready to tell you. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, when we are, who is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud? You know the mountain of Uhud in Medina? Rasulullah said, you see this mountain right here? He said, we have to know these names so they're not just folklore names. He said, you see this mountain of Uhud? He said, on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah's going to take a scale. He's going to take the mountain of Uhud, he's going to put it on one side of the scale. He's going to take the foot of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and put it on one side. He said, the mountain's going to flip. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud's foot, not his body, his foot is way heavier than the mountain of Uhud. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, when we are shining our shoes, we have fear, we start trusting and have fear in Allah. He said, because by the time we make the last swipe, Allah can decree for the angel of death to come down and descend and take our souls. These are people who are, this is what type of awareness they have of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Okay? This is the type of awareness they have. So it's not just, oh, Allah is going to forgive me. You can come with those questions. Allah is going to forgive me. So you ask Allah for forgiveness, knowing that He's going to forgive you, but not manipulating His mercy. I'm going to try to go through a few of these. Some of them I'm not going to answer. In what ways do you see psychology blending with Islam? Some real life examples. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew the nature of people. He knew the nature, that's what psychology is. He understands the habits and the nature of people, human beings. He understood this. He would have Abu Bakr with him because if you notice when I meet you, I say, hey, where you from? I say this a lot. Now, where's your family from? Somalia. Because I know how some things I won't say to you that I'll say to an Egyptian. You see what I'm saying? Because it's very important to know people. It's certain things you can't say to people because it can be in terms of disrespect or in terms of not to. You shouldn't say that. So knowing people is very important. It's something to something. The psychology of people. Okay? The real life examples is what we mentioned previously earlier. Understanding the human behavior, understanding how you treat people, understanding how you're moving forward with your life, understanding your own habits. Your real life examples you have all the time. How you created a double life. That's using psychology to find your way around because you understand how you want to react. But there's more to this. There's more to this. And the real life examples is what you go through all the time. The real life examples is what you go through all the time. Because you don't want, and this is something wrong with a real life example too. There's something wrong with saying that. A real life example. If it's an example, it's not real. If it's an example, it can't be real. A real life example can't be. So I just explained, I already explained that, and we do a whole, if you go to Twitter and you type in depression, I do a whole thread about this, about psychology and different things. How do I control my desires and not let them overcome me? One of the things that we have to do, we have to understand, number one, is that we do our best to try to control ourselves. When we fall short, we seek Allah Azza wa Jalla's forgiveness. The idea is to, of course, you want to be fearful of Allah. You want to remember, like my father said, I asked my father the same thing similar. He said, whatever sin you get ready to commit, know the punishment that's attached to it. It's very powerful. So, it's very, very powerful. So that's the first thing. What you want to do, you just want to just try your best to continue to seek forgiveness and ask for guidance. Ask for guidance. And also, this question is too broad too. This question is too broad, my desires. I don't know what desires. See, we are a community that speak, we can't even be real with ourselves when we're asking an anonymous question. Because people teach us, you can't say that inside the Masjid, okay? You can't say that. You're not allowed to say that. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is inside the Masjid Nabi. That green dome, under that's where he's sitting. A man came, the story is a Bukhari. A man came, and he urinates inside the Masjid of Nabi. You know, Umar doesn't like this kind of stuff. Fazajrul nas. Zajr is like, they wanted to beat him up. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam addressed that in the most beautiful way. They talked about everything. They talked about everything. That's my point. I would, just a few of these, you can bring those and that'll be good. Well, go to every masjid and talk about stuff. Abu Bakr. Who's Abu Bakr? Yeah, you Abu Bakr? You can just nod your head. You Abu Bakr? Alhamdulillah. We ask Allah to raise you with Sadiq. Abu Bakr and Sadiq. I want him to be raised with Abu Bakr and Sadiq. Do y'all? Ameen? We come and we talk and we do, and we also have programs. I'm releasing a program for, we're doing a cartoon soon. And it's going to be like Disney. It's going to be a cartoon. It talks about a little young boy who's trying to memorize the Quran. So we'll be having that later on this year. So the answer to your question, Abu Bakr, is yes, okay? What is the best way to deal with females at work as a man, especially if most of your coworkers are female? This is very good. I didn't mention this, but this is another thing you want to come into, and the ladies want to come into too. Let's stop thinking that the ladies don't have the same. Allah really created us with the same emotions. So the man is allowed to do whatever he wants, but the lady, she gotta be. That's not the way Allah created us. That's the way culture allows us to think. You have to be focused on your work. For number one, you can get yourself in a whole bunch of trouble. Y'all know about the Me Too movement. You can't even, my niggas was like, listen, all right, good morning. So y'all got to be very, 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 very careful with that, because it can flip very, very easily, because again, you're dealing with people that are not Muslims, and there's no belief in them. Not saying they don't have people, so they don't understand loyalty. They understand loyalty, but not how we understand it. Be very, very careful with that, because as you begin to get, I see nothing but handsome. The nur of Allah Azza wa Jalla, because of the sujood, it makes you handsome, and I can see it. So when they look at you, you look different. Just say, hey, say that again. What's your name? Can I touch your hair? And stuff like that. I never had nobody ask me that before. Like, how do we react to a situation like that? Oh, everything's going to be okay. Hey, good morning. You coming to? You're like, man. And that creates something inside of you. And you start thinking about that. Like, why am I feeling this way? Just do a brush through. So you have to remember Allah at all times. And do your salat and seek forgiveness or whatever. But I'm not going to tell you to run away from them when they come to the meeting. You just try to keep your distance. You just try to talk about work-related things. Because once it starts getting comfortable, because sometimes in the workplace now you have people's numbers. You text in a little group me chat. And that they send you a private message about something that don't have nothing to do with work. So what do you think about the World Cup and, whatever? You think like, it's just a World Cup. I guess it's cool. What do you think about, you look like this particular person. This person, it's like this. It happens very quickly. So you want to just keep your distance and remember your adhkar in the morning. When you go to work, you should always be doing your dhikr. Even if you're just playing Quran, just always remember this. And you're going to be in situations, always try to draw yourself back. And tell somebody what you want to do. You say, listen, Abdullah, listen. I was in the break one night. Every time I go to the water, this lady comes. She kind of like, she's getting closer and closer. Like, what do you think I should do about that? So you should seek advice and to see other people who's going to give you good advice. If you think that listen, I wake up for tahajjud, I ain't gotta worry about any of this. Shaitan's gonna send them to you just for you saying that. And then you gotta deal with it. And it's split in a moment. You gotta be very, very careful how you navigate that and keep your relationships with those people. Keep everything basic, especially when you're on a company email. Keep everything professional and basic. You know what I mean? Be careful. I don't even send smiley faces in my company email. And I'm a very emotional person. If you text me, I'm very emotional, but not when I'm on a company email. Everything is, yes, punctuated correctly. So be very, very careful about your own ikhlaq. And because guess what? You know your intentions, you don't know theirs. And they may not even have intentions. Their thing is a free fall. You remember they was partying with frat boys just 6 months ago. So it has to be, you have to have that hijab there. But it has to be comfortable where they can talk to you. Hey, did you heard what Trump tweeted earlier this morning like that? So you want to have conversations like that. LeBron's at the Lakers now, like stuff like that is cool. But when it starts getting into other stuff, so what you do when you got off? I don't know about that now. I'm not gonna feel comfortable telling you that. You just kind of like you curve it. Say, yeah, I'll email you. You know what I'm saying? And just roll off like that. So we'll do 2 more questions and khalas, inshallah. We are a bit tired. We have other things we have to do here within the community service. How can we best advise a friend who is committing a lot of sins without seeming judgmental or mean? When someone, I'm talking to the shabab, to the youth here. The youth is between 18 and 35, or 16 and 35, since we have 2 plus 16 here in the university. One in the back, and the lady right here, my sister right here. When someone covers your faults, that does not mean you should be comfortable sitting around them. You should have more respect about them because they're covering the faults. When they advise you, everything's not a judgment. Hey, listen, hey, look, I gotta talk to you. I don't like that specific thing that you did. That's not cool because you're freeing yourself from the fire when you do that. But we want to be around people that lets us sin. That's why you see so many people on social media, they don't care. Look, listen, this is what I'm doing, and oh well. Because the moment that you say, hey, listen, come on, don't you know you got kids that's watching you? You can't be doing it. So you want to give kind advice and firm advice, but don't compromise the Quran and the Sunnah, because once you do that, you can't come back. Once you do that. Oh yeah, it's cool. They already know that I smoke weed, so I'm just going to just spark one up right in front of them. That's not what this is about. So you want to, the first thing you do is that you tell them about the relationship. Hey, listen, we've been together a long time. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. I don't want what I'm getting ready to say to you to break us. We're doing this for the sake of Allah. This is for my akhirah, and your akhirah, your hereafter. When you start off like that, most people will be kind of like, say, listen, I don't think it's cool for you and Shakur to be going wherever y'all going and hanging out. I don't think that's cool. I'm not saying you can't hang out with Shakur, but I'm saying that have somebody with you. You should, I don't know what's happening with that. And then she may give you an explanation. Everybody deserves an explanation for something. He may give you an explanation that gives you a better understanding of what's going on, for whatever reason that may be. But you should always want to assume the best of the people. What did the Salaf say? This incredible statement. I want you to pay attention to this. The youth love this statement, but I'll say it. The Sahaba. I don't know how these people weren't angels. They were not angels. I don't understand how they weren't angels, what they said. He said, if I saw my brother with alcohol dripping from his beard, the Sahaba and the students of the Sahaba said, if I saw my brother with alcohol dripping from his beard, I would think that somebody poured it on him. He said, if I saw him at the top of the mountain, he said, I am Allah. I think he was quoting the ayah of the Quran when Allah just said, I am your Lord. Allahu Akbar. What do we say? You know what we say? Astaghfirullah, this brother, man, he had all the... You ain't seen nothing. Take it easy. The Sahaba already talked about this. What do we quote Sheikh Salih today on Instagram? What an incredible statement. Sheikh Salih has a kursi in Riyadh. He just in Riyadh, he travels around Medina and Mecca. This is one of the kabair of the kebab of the ulama today. Look, this is what he said. It's on my Twitter page, put up there today. He said, if an individual sees a stripper or a singer, and he tells her she commits fornication, he said that person is able to get justice for slander for the slander that you said because you didn't bring the proof forward. He said even her, she has honor. You just can't say that just because she's living that life. You can't say. The believer don't say that. You bring forth your delivery. Allahu Akbar. Everyone gets justice. So what's that say about somebody who you're trying to advise? Assume the best of your brother. You assume the best. You have husnul dhan of your brother. Assume the best of them. That's how you help people. How do you know? So I talked about Sheikh Saudi Fazal, that might not be enough for you. I mentioned something about the Salaf that may be enough for you. But the Messenger will be enough for you, correct? This will be the third example. Will the Messenger be enough for you? Everyone should say yes. When the Messenger speaks, is that enough for you?
Yes.
Two Sahaba, they were chasing behind this man in a battle. The hadith is in every authentic book. The man came behind a tree and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, but he didn't get finished and he killed him. The news got back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, he only went behind a tree because he was scared because he only pronounced the shahada because he was scared that we was going to do something to him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, did you cut open his chest and open up his heart and see if that's how he felt? They said no. They said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he kept saying this particular thing over and over, and the Sahaba said, it made me feel like my mother never gave birth to me. He said, how would you stand before Allah knowing you killed somebody that was a Muslim? Now, kept saying this over and over and over again. How would you stand before Allah? How would you stand before? He said, the Messenger kept saying over again, I wish my mother never would have gave birth to me. Did you cut open that person's chest and see that that's what they meant? Is that's what he, so the brother says something, the sister, she does something. She's lashing out. She's going through a situation. Did you ask that person what they're going through? The people who judge you don't pray for you, and the people who pray for you don't judge you. The people who judge you don't pray for you. The people who pray for you don't judge you. Third time, the people who judge you don't pray for you. The people who pray for you don't judge you. I can't make dua for you and then assume the best, so assume the worst of you. You should be a friend to people's struggles, not an enemy to their weaknesses. This person does this person does that. My father, rahimahullah, in closing, he was in his den. And he was staring out the window. This is as he was getting older, he was staring out the window. And I said, yes, Sheikh. I said, is there something on your mind that, he said, yes. He says, this is during Ramadan. He said, yes. He said, I've just completed 41 Ramadans. He said, I don't know if Allah accepted one of them. He said, I'm so worried about my own self. Later that day, on to Taraweeh, I was sitting in the car, and a non-hijabi walked into the Masjid. And he laughed or whatever. I said, Sheikh, later on, 2 days later, I said, what was all of that about? He says, her apparent struggle is that she doesn't have a hijab. He said, but the struggles that you can't see is a whole bunch of them. That might be her only struggle, but mine is a bunch. I have a whole lot of things that I'm dealing with. Allahu Akbar. This is the way the believer should think. Well, the brother came to the masjid with tattoos on. What kind of stuff is he into? He's a child. It's just pronounced fear on him. The believer don't do stuff like that. We assume the best of them. We judge what's apparent. Umar ibn Khattab said, we can only see what's apparent. We don't know what's in people's hearts. Because the Quran was coming down and exposing the munafiqs. So we have to have balance when it comes to that. So a part of all this problem is the judgment in a general sense. Especially with the exception of the obsession of the young men. Can you advise the hijabis about the tutorials? Do you think that I'm going to watch the tutorials? It doesn't matter to me. Why does it matter to you as you in your sophomore year as an engineer? Focus on your finals, Akeem. That stuff is let the shuyukh and let the sheikhs, let them address that. And not to say they can't be addressed, because I have issues with it, but this is not, you shouldn't even, it's something weird about it. What about the ladies doing this? Akeem? Listen, what about the men on Instagram with their shirts off, pumping? What about that? Are you overlooking? It has to be fair both ways. So we don't have that balance both ways. It's not just one-sided. You just see more hijabis. Because nobody really wants to look at the men. But they're on there, doing all types of crazy things. So let's just be focused on each other. I digress a little bit, but I want to say this in my closing remarks, that I will take these questions, I will deliver these questions in the email, and I'll answer them within the next week or so. Then I'll send it to you, Fawad. And I wanted to say, some of the things that I said was not correct. Some of the times I raised my voice when I should have lowered my voice, and I lowered my voice when I should have raised it. Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah said, he said, I state my opinion, thinking that it's right with the possibility of it being wrong. But I listen to the opinion of others, thinking that it's wrong with the possibility of it being right. Everything that I said up here wasn't correct. Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, when he became a Khalifa, his inaugural address, he said that when I make a mistake, this is Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, he doesn't make mistakes. Very few. His mistakes are not like ours. He said, when I make mistakes, it's coming from myself. When anything is correct, it's coming from the one that came before me, and it's coming from his creator. The one that came before me is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So someone makes mistakes, hopefully you can forgive me, you can accept my apology. We made mistakes. I'm passionate about the youth. I will continue to be on the front line. Fawad, I want you to send my number to everybody in the blast. Y'all connect on me on WhatsApp. Please don't regular text me, please. If you regular text me, it's going to be too difficult to get to you. WhatsApp, I can actually see. It's only family members who are able to regular text me. They appear, if you regular, please, but if you have to regular text me, let me know. Last thing I want to say as my disclaimer is that when you speak to me, everything is 100% confidential. Mashi? Everything is 100% confidential. I'm never going to tell what you are telling me. Not even if your Baba comes and says, I'm going to shake you. I'm still not going to tell you. So what you say to me is private. If you want to send me a DM, even though I don't really, because sometimes someone else looks at the DM. If you want to connect with me through social media, you can send a DM and I'll try my best to navigate you, but I'll probably forward you to my WhatsApp, because my WhatsApp is more encrypted and secured. You all have to understand that you are amongst the ummah of Rasulullah. You are going to be envied on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. They're going to look at you. This is my final advice and inspiration. They're going to look at you. And they're going to say, who are these people? This is the best. How do we start off the Arabic introduction? We talked about being chosen as the best ummah. And how we came from the Prophet that he's the best of Nas. And this is an Arabic poetic thing, how we keep saying Nas, Nas, Nas. That's how we started this off. Keep saying Nas and Nas and Nas. The best of Nas. So you have the best Rasul, the best Sahaba, and the best followers of them. Our community is better than the followers of Sayyidina Isa. It's better than the followers of Sayyidina Nuh. It's better than the followers of Sayyidina Ibrahim. They're the Sahaba better than the disciples of Sayyidina Isa. We're the best of it. When they see, they're going to envy you. You have to carry yourself with honor. Stop envying these people. Yes, you can become inspired by Drake in the future. Those things is fine, that's cool, right? But at the end of the day, it's that you got Bukhari, you got Muslim, you got Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, you got Khalid bin Walid, you got Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, you got Umar bin Khattab. These are the people whose footsteps you're following behind. And Allah Azza wa Jal specifically chose you for this mission. He specifically chose you for this life. You're not going to be here very long. You have to have honor. You have to have dignity. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall. You're going to fail. You're going to try to find your way. Everything's okay. You have to understand that you are amongst the Muslims. You have the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that my intercession is only for the people that commit major sins. What more hope do you want? That's why some of the scholars say when we sit and we ponder Allah's forgiveness, it's very difficult for us to understand how can he even throw somebody in Jahannam after all of this mercy. What more do you want? What more can be done for you? What more can you possibly ask for? This is a deal this is an investment that you want to cash in on. Qiyamah is coming and everything is going to be okay, inshallah. Y'all have to hold on just a little longer. We have to hold on just a little longer. All of the things that you have here in America, all the resources that you have, all the great shuyukh that you have, that's cool, that's laid back, that's not going to judge you. You are a Muslim, it comes with honor and dignity. فَأَزَّزْنَا اللَّهِ بِالْإِسْلَامِ. This is what Umar ibn Khattab, listen to what he said. He said, فَأَزَّزْنَا. Do you know why he made this statement? They said, yeah, Umar, you gave strength to Islam. You're so beautiful, you're so this. He didn't say, mashallah, tabarakallah. He said, all Muslims are honorable because of Islam. He stamps you. Umar, who else can stamp you like this? Who doesn't want to be stamped by Umar? He said it. فَأَزْرَزْنَا اللَّهِ بِالْإِسْلَامِ, one of his famous statements. Make your salat, make your salawat. If you are having trouble making salawat, what salat do you like the best? Tell me. Salat al-Maghrib, we'll make that. But what about the wudu? I can't make it sitting down. Start somewhere. Just don't completely cut it off. If you just only want to make salat al-Maghrib, start with that and then you build yourself up. There's nothing more that you can have except this deen. This is what brought me. If I wasn't Muslim, would I be here? I don't care how many pair of Air Maxes I wear here, what color they are. I'm here for the service. I'm here for the khidmah. I'm here to feel you, to cry with you. Ask Abdullah in them, ask Manar, ask Saif, ask some of these, ask Fawad. This is real. This is not somebody just giving a lecture, I'm just going to forget all about y'all. Those days is over. Imam Suhaib Webb said to me in Miami in closing, I was sitting on stage with him, and he whispered in my ear, he said, what you doing up here? He said, I'll explain this later. So after the event, we was going to South Beach, because they wanted to take us to South Beach. And there was a convertible that came, and we hopped in, and he said, oh, no, he said, come on, talk to you. He said, listen. He said, the scholars didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, so Allah put people like mentors. The deen is always going to be preserved. He said, that's why you're able to sit on the stage with the scholars. Because you are providing a service. This is for real. That's what this is about. Where does that come from the heart? Go to the heart. I can feel you. From the lady's side, the unsaid things, the things that you think, I can feel it. I can literally feel between us. From the men's side, I can see in your faces what you're going through, the emotions that you made, the facial expressions. What triggered you? What hit a nerve? What you didn't like? This is real. This is the gift of Allah which I gave the slave. My resume is flawless. It's there. My whole life's online. So let's get to Jannah together, y'all, please. None of this is worth just risking Jannah for. You got your issues, you got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, let's fix it together, y'all. I'm not going to tell you to stop. Let's just come together. Oh, you want to marry this person? You got a problem with Bob? Let me talk to them. I'll come back here and if you want to have tea, you want to settle, let's fix this then. You got a problem with marijuana, pornography, let's deal with this. Not just let Allah all forgiven, I'm just going to be like, nah, you start to destroy yourself. That nur that you have starts to get, every time you commit a sin, what happens to your heart? What did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say? It's a black spot. You know how you write color? You know how you write color in Arabic? If you keep putting dots on it, it doesn't become qalb anymore, does it? If you put one dot on the qalb, it doesn't become, so a whole bunch of dots, you don't even have a heart anymore. That's why when my teachers wrote it, he put a bunch of black dots on it. Everybody had chills in their body. He said, it's not, you don't even have a heart anymore. Every time you have a black dot. But what removes the black dot? Tawbah. Ya Allah, please forgive me. Let's bring it back to where, you see how your tawbah is white like that? Let me see this piece of paper. Let me see this. Let me see this. It becomes like this. Sahaba came up to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, in our days of Jahl, in my days of Jahl, I took my daughter and I was playing with her. And I took her to a well and I dangled her over the well. And she thought I was playing and I let her go. He said the last thing I heard was, Ya Ama, Ya Ama. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wept this out of his face. He said, tell me that story again. He told him again, he wept. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said,
You became a Muslim, so it's like a white piece of paper now. This is the hope that he gave them. He said, after you became a Muslim, it's like a white piece of paper. He changed every culture, everything. What more do you want? Are you looking for something beyond the prophet? You fall in love with him with the first. There's a story that you love about the prophet that you specifically love that makes you just like swoon. Like it makes you just want to, is this real? It has to be real because all these people can't be narrating the same story. That's one of the hukum of Yamani Riwayah. If all of these people say it has to be real, what more do you want? So this is what I had to deliver to you. Hopefully I'll satisfy you. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect us. We will be here until I have some family things that I'm going to be taking care of tomorrow, but I will try to do my best to reach out to you. For why I want to give everybody my number. If you want my number when I'm walking out the door, I'll give it to you directly. If you want to text me now, that's fine. Dr. Layla is at your disposal, and we will try our best to continue to move forward. I'm humbled to be in this position again to serve you all. We'll be back in the future. Jazakallah for Abdullah, Fawad, the entire Adams family, for allowing us to come here. My brother Saif has been here, and he traveled a great distance as well with me. He's learning, he's becoming a student of knowledge, and he's learning how to service khidmati mawla, and he'll be getting married in December, inshallah. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to allow you to make dua for him. He's getting married to a very close young lady of mine that I watched grow up, and seeing the youth come together. And how old are you, Saif? He's 18 and he's getting married. He's going to have every resource around him. Because why? He said, I want to get married. He's not going to be committing no zina, inshallah. You want to marry her? You want to marry Sakina? I'm going to call Hassan up the only. Okay, it's fine. They want him to do this and get a job, do all this and finish school. All right, he's done. That's how he's really, does this mean that this is an example of youth? No, that doesn't mean that. Don't use that, but I'm telling you how real this stuff is. I'm really being mandated on it. And I didn't mean to embarrass you guys. Like, we ask Allah to raise him on sight for Allah, inshallah. So, وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ قُلْ قَوْلِي هَذَا أَسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ مَعَ السَّلَامَةِ.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair, Brother Hanif, for that wonderful program and interactive session where we actually dove into specific issues and stigmas that we forget to talk about every now and then. And there's always those constant reminders that keep us going and refresh us and give us that boost of mentality and resurgence, not only in our dunya matters, but also our deen matters. So alhamdulillah, thank you for that again. And like Brother Hanif said, if you ever want to reach out to him, he's very active on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. He has a YouTube page, Facebook as well. So follow him on there. And also he has a WhatsApp message where he also sends out daily reminders and hadith reminders and Steelers advices and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. I would highly recommend following him on there. And one thing is here at AYA, we provide programs such as this to provide the community a means of spiritual rejuvenance, service, and ultimately to professional development and networking. So we're working on that, and your feedback is greatly appreciated. And without your presence, without your attendance, there would be no purpose for us to serve you guys. So inshallah, please give us your feedback. Currently, we're actually running a big sale. We can, if you guys want to, it's right outside the door, so we still have some goods out there. We accept Apple Pay, Venmo, credit card, cash. So inshallah, if you guys want to donate to us, we'll be happy to provide more programs for you, initiatives in the future as well. But without further ado, we have Maghrib Iqama at 8:43, inshallah. I just want to thank you guys one more time from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure Brother Hanif greatly appreciates the service that he's giving you guys today. So inshallah, assalamu alaikum. Jazakumullah khair.